Hey, welcome back to Driver 88. Last year we filmed a ton of Porsche GT cars, a bunch of them very modern and very sort of hip. Today we have something incredibly different. It's rare, it's relatively wild, it's a 6-speed manual, it's got a Metzger engine in it. Let's find this 996 GT2. So naturally, having our first 996 on the channel, we wanted to pick something quite special, something that I've never actually seen on the road before. It's a 996 GT2. And this car, when it came out, obviously was quite revolutionary for the Porsche brand. Water-cooled, not everyone's cup of tea for looks, but I'll tell you now, the more I've looked at this thing, particularly when the rolling shots that we just did, looks fantastic. It's just so much wider, more muscular than previous 911s. And compared to a GT3, I'm really falling for the front lip. It's just got this width, this musculature to it. Really good looking car. Front windscreen, a fair bit more raked than previous GT3s, and arguably the best angle is the side profile. So there's so much hype obviously around GT Porsches these days. Too much hype, in fact, that it's almost caused a little bit of discredit to the brand, with the broccoli heads posting 3RSs on TikTok. A little too much. This car they would not have any clue about, and I think it is one of the most underappreciated and undervalued GT Porsches on the market today. Let's see the reasons why. So the GT2 and the business end, this is a Metzger derived motorsport influenced engine, not something that is just off the shelf. These engines didn't have the sort of common pitfalls of 996s of the time, incredibly robust. They also made 456 horsepower, 620 newton meters. In third-party testing, 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds, and a Nürburgring lap time, again, from a Sport Auto third-party test of 7 minutes 46. Incredible for the year 2000. Can you imagine? Given that they put new sport tyres on a Carrera GT, it lopped off 12 seconds off the Nürburgring. If you put modern sport tyres on these huge rear 315s and then had a factory Porsche driver, you'd probably be in the 7 minutes 30 range for a car that was developed 26 plus years ago. It is really incredible performance. I'm a big fan of just this width, this rear stance. 315s on the rear matches the 315 or so kilometre top speed as well. So one of just 1,287 or so units, incredibly rare car. Not many in Australia. The leather bucket seats, no rear seats, of course, and the glorious 6-speed manual. Rear-wheel drive, carbon interior, this one. We've got carbon ceramic brakes and nice little bits of yellow accents. It's a very focused interior. I love the fact that the person who bought this car also spec'd the yellow dials. It's just minimalism. We've also got a CD stacker, which is great. If you didn't know, CDs play far better quality music than your streaming service like Spotify, etc. Just an extra tidbit there. I think we should take this car for a drive, see what it looks like on the road. All right, so we're in the GT2. Fraser, you've driven this car a fair amount over your time. You've also driven a bunch of classic 911s and modern 911s. What stands out in a 996 GT2 as a driving experience?
Well, good question. I think I've been fortunate to drive a lot of 911s, but you know, I like this. This GT2 is still very analog. You know, it still feels very raw. I mean, the way that it delivers the power on the Metzger engine always sounds fantastic. It delivers in a bit of feeder in a way where you can spin the wheels up, but yeah, it spools up nicely. Yeah, you know, the close ratio manual box, you know, the shifters, you know, it's quite nice, but very, very analog, you know, very input driven from the driver, you know, unlike the newer cars.
There's one thing I hear about 996 is they demand a fair bit of respect, especially a GT2. You don't have as many aids as like the modern cars. It's not as super wide as like a 992 today. And of course, you've got 6-speed manual, which just adds to the driving experience. And if you can hear it when we give it a bit of a pull at some point, the Metzger engine, it sounds better than the modern turbos as well. Like a modern turbo kind of just sounds like a vacuum cleaner in a way, but this has got a bit of that rasp that's in the GT Porsches of old, which is nice, really, really nice. Because cars these days, as you probably know, you're so disconnected from the driving experience half the time.
They've lost their soul.
Yeah. I personally, I said before, I've never seen one of these on the road. I didn't see many 996 turbos, let alone GT2s. how would you compare this to, say, something like a 993?
I mean, there's subtle differences, you know. The 993 GT2 is the pinnacle of 911 there is, right? It's one of the best cars for me on the planet.
Yeah.
This, you know, is a big step forward. It was a a huge shift for Porsche going from 993 to 996. You know, and, you know, to a lot of people it was the wrong direction. You know, this is the ugly duckling of the 911 family. It's taken a long time for people to appreciate the 996. I think the 996 GT2 would have to be one of the most undervalued, underappreciated 911 GT cars. That's for sure.
Well, that was my motivation to getting this on camera, is that, like, with all the hype around certain GT models, I think, you know, 996s, particularly pre-2020, you can just feel that the torque is so nice, so much. Particularly before 2020, 996 is like you could pick certain models up for so cheap, and I think a number of modern GT Porsches are probably overvalued compared to something like this.
Absolutely.
Only 1,200 or so models.
Yep.
And very few in Australia, obviously.
I think there's 29 from memory in Australia.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the 991 GT2s,
yeah,
and whatnot, you know, there's this, the way that GT cars have gone for Porsche is just a staggering amount of numbers being produced around the world. You know, I mean, just look at GT3 RS, 996.
Yeah, thousands and
how many come into the country?
Thousands and thousands of new cars.
The 996 GT3 RS, you know, the first iteration of that nameplate. You know, it started the whole lineage really, and there was there was probably under 10 cars came to Australia.
Yeah, I know. There's like very unknown.
This was a big dollar car for Porsche when it came into the country. You know, obviously the who's who got them. This particular car was through Roland Skier in Chillingworth, who actually raced in Le Mans in 2002 or 3 with a 996 RSR, and actually had the Australian flag in the car, which is nice.
Sweet. And I guess that makes sense. Like, a special car like this would go to not just some social media influencer, but like someone who would race Porsche cars and had a collection, but wasn't sort of playing a game, but just had a pure passion. Like, these cars, I think, were asking you like 400,000 Australian dollars around about 25 plus years ago, which is fairly outstanding. So you had to be a serious Porsche person to get an allocation for one, and just a tiny handful of them. So I'm so glad that we got to have our first GT2 on the channel. Maybe we can get a 997 GT2 on the channel soon enough as well. This incredible metallic GT Silver model is for sale with our friends at GG Classic Cars. I'll put a link in the comment section for you to look at. Just a beautiful looking thing. It's nice to have such rare Porsches on the channel. This is Driver 88, and we'll see you next time.